In the magnificent city of Babylon, where golden towers pierced the sky and kingdoms rose and fell, there lived a man whose faith never wavered. His name was Daniel, and he was no ordinary man. Captured as a young man from his homeland of Judah, Daniel had risen to become one of the most powerful officials in the entire Persian Empire. Under King Darius, Daniel distinguished himself above all the other administrators and satraps by his exceptional qualities. He was wise, honest, and trustworthy. The king was so impressed with Daniel that he planned to set him over the entire kingdom. But Daniel's success bred jealousy among the other officials. These administrators and satraps searched desperately for grounds to bring charges against Daniel. They examined his work, scrutinized his decisions, and watched his every move. But they couldn't find any corruption or negligence. Daniel was faithful, trustworthy, and beyond reproach. Finally, they came to a sinister conclusion. We'll never find any basis for charges against this man, Daniel, unless it has something to do with the law of his God. They knew Daniel's one unshakable habit. 3 times every day, Daniel went to his room, opened his windows toward Jerusalem, and prayed to his God. The conspirators went as a group to King Darius with a proposal. "May King Darius live forever," they proclaimed. "All the royal administrators have agreed that the king should issue a decree. For the next 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or human being except to you, your majesty, shall be thrown into the lion's den." It was flattery wrapped in deception. King Darius, not realizing the trap being set for Daniel, put the decree in writing. According to the law of the Medes and Persians, once signed, it could not be repealed, not even by the king himself. When Daniel learned that the decree had been published, he faced a choice. He could pray in secret, close his windows, or stop praying for just 30 days. Any of these would save his life. But Daniel didn't hesitate for a moment. He went home to his upstairs room where the windows opened toward Jerusalem. And there, just as he had done 3 times a day all his life, he got down on his knees and prayed. He gave thanks to his God, speaking openly, making no attempt to hide his devotion. Daniel's faith wasn't dependent on circumstances. It wasn't something he could turn on and off based on convenience or danger. His relationship with God was the foundation of everything he was, and he would not compromise it, not even to save his own life. The conspirators had been watching and waiting. The moment they saw Daniel praying, they rushed back to the king. "Did you not publish a decree?" they asked. When the king confirmed it, they sprang their trap. "Daniel, who is one of the exiles from Judah, pays no attention to you or to the decree. He still prays 3 times a day." The king was deeply distressed. He realized too late that he'd been manipulated into condemning his most faithful servant. For the rest of the day, Darius desperately searched for a way to save Daniel. He tried every legal avenue, sought every loophole. But the law of the Medes and Persians could not be changed. As the sun began to set, the officials reminded the king that no decree he issued could be changed. With a heavy heart, King Darius gave the order. Daniel was arrested and brought to the lion's den. The lion's den was a deep pit where the empire's most fearsome lions were kept. These weren't tame animals. They were starving predators, kept hungry to make executions swift and terrifying. It was a death sentence no one had ever survived. As they prepared to lower Daniel into the den, the king said something extraordinary. "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." Even Darius, a pagan king, recognized the power of Daniel's unwavering faith. Daniel was lowered into the darkness. A stone was brought and placed over the mouth of the den. The king sealed it with his own signet ring and the rings of his nobles, so that Daniel's situation could not be changed. That night, King Darius returned to his palace, but he couldn't eat. He refused entertainment. He couldn't sleep. All night long, he worried about the faithful man he'd been forced to condemn. At the first light of dawn, the king got up and hurried to the lion's den. When he got there, he called out in an anguished voice, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" From the darkness of the den came a voice, Daniel's voice, alive. "May the king live forever," Daniel called out. "My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight. Nor have I ever done any wrong before you, your majesty." The king was overjoyed. He gave orders to lift Daniel out of the den, and when they brought him up, not a single scratch was found on him, because he had trusted in his God. King Darius was furious at the men who had conspired against Daniel. He ordered that they and their families be thrown into the lion's den. Before they even reached the floor of the den, the lions overpowered them and crushed all their bones. Then King Darius wrote to all nations and peoples of every language throughout the land, "May you prosper greatly. I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom, people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, and he endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion will never end. He rescues and he saves. He performs signs and wonders in the heavens and on the earth. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions." Daniel's faith had not only saved his life, it had transformed an entire empire's view of the living God.